Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Human remains found near Newmarket Medical Building. Niagara Falls man charged for allegedly uploading child pornography to social media sites. Proposed Ontario law would ban sex offenders from legally changing their names. Teen dies days after being struck by car while running from police at Canada's Wonderland Special Investigations Unit. Bonnie Crombie overrides Mississauga's decision on fourplexes after federal funding axed. Car thieves captured on video breaking into home to steal key fob. Arrest made, warrant issued in $600,000 mortgage fraud.
These were the headlines and let's jump right into the detail.
A teenager has died nearly 1 week after being struck by a driver while running from police at Canada's Wonderland. The incident happened on Friday, October 13. The Investigations Unit (SIU) has previously said that a York Regional Police officer was patrolling the parking lot at Canada's Wonderland when he saw a 17-year-old male behaving suspiciously and exited his car. The teen allegedly ran away and the officer began a foot pursuit. When the teen reached Jane Street between Norwood Avenue and Avro Road, he was struck by a vehicle. He was initially rushed to hospital in serious condition but died on Thursday afternoon, the SIU confirms. The Special Investigations Unit continues to investigate and has assigned 1 subject official and 5 witness officials to the case. The Special Investigations Unit investigates the conduct of police that may have resulted in death, serious injury, allegations of sexual assault, or the discharge of a firearm at a person. Registered sex offenders in Ontario will not be able to legally change their names if a bill that's before the legislature passes. The legislation jointly introduced this week by progressive conservatives Laurie Scott and Laura Smith is all but ensured passage with their party, which has a majority in the legislature supporting it. This bill, if passed, will stop the Carla Homolkas from becoming the Lean Tales, Smith said, referring to the infamous killer and her name change. We just feel that the right to change somebody's name should not be abused. We want to strengthen our province's commitment to zero tolerance to these offenders and their heinous crimes and put our full support behind the victims and the families. We have to close up this loophole. Other provinces such as Saskatchewan and Alberta have similar laws, Smith and Scott said in an interview, so it's time Ontario makes a similar change so sex offenders cannot escape accountability. The legislation would see people on Ontario's sex offender registry unable to legally change their name, including those convicted of child pornography, sexual assault, and sexual exploitation. Christina Mitaz, a now former progressive conservative backbencher who did not run for re-election in 2022, first introduced the bill in 2020, but it did not get passed before the election, so Smith and Scott have now taken up the mantle. Name changes in the province are published in the legislature document called the Ontario Gazette, but few read it, Mittas noted. John Ranthoff, the New Democratic critic for Solicitor General Issues, said he supports seeing the legislation pass second reading and get committee hearings. Ontario Sex Offender Registry is known as Christopher's Law, named for 11-year-old Christopher Stephenson, who was killed in 1988 by a convicted sex offender. A 19-year-old man from Niagara Falls has been charged for allegedly uploading child pornography to social media sites. Niagara Regional Police Service said they began an investigation last July into an online user who had uploaded child pornography to Facebook and other websites multiple times. Earlier this month, investigators executed a search warrant at a home in Niagara Falls, resulting in a suspect being arrested. On Friday, police said the suspect, Richard Staples, had been charged with 2 counts of possessing child pornography, 1 count of making child pornography available, and accessing child pornography. He was held in custody pending a bail hearing on Friday. Homicide detectives have been called in after human remains were found behind a medical building parking lot in Newmarket. Police say that the remains were located in a forested area at the northwest corner of Davis Drive and Bayview Parkway on Thursday afternoon. The authorities say that the remains belong to an adult female, however, her age and identity remain unknown. It doesn't look like we are looking at a longer-term historical situation, but the exact amount of the time That this person has been dead is under investigation, Sergeant Clint Whitney told Awaz News on Friday. Police have said that the circumstances surrounding the woman's death are believed to be suspicious, though the case has not been formally designated as a homicide at this point. Police are urging any witnesses to come forward as soon as possible. Investigators from Peel Regional Police have arrested and charged a 39-year-old man in relation to an alleged mortgage fraud in Brampton and are now appealing for the public's assistance in locating a second suspect. Police said that in 2021, Dreams Holdings Limited, a private lending company owned and operated by the victim, was approached by a mortgage agent identified as Satya Kumar Trivedi regarding an investment. The victim was then deceived into facilitating a second mortgage worth over $600,000 for what he was told was a gas station business in Barrie, police say. When the lender did not receive any payments, police say he unsuccessfully tried to locate the borrower, but soon learned that the information used to apply for the mortgage, including photo ID, was falsified. When the victim reported the incident to police, investigators identified the second suspect as Stephen Spencer, 53. On October 4th, Trivedi, 39, of East Gwillimbury, was arrested and charged with fraud over $5,000. He's scheduled to appear at the Ontario Court of Justice in Brampton at a later date. Police are now searching for Spencer. He is wanted for obtaining goods based on forged documents, fraud over $5,000, uttering forged documents, and using a counterfeit stamp. Anyone with the information regarding this incident is asked to contact Peel Regional Police. Bonnie Crombie has used her strong mayor powers to reverse a Mississauga Council decision that would prevent 4-unit homes, otherwise known as fourplexes, from being built within city limits after the federal government withdrew infrastructure funding. The mayor, who has taken a leave to run for leader of the Ontario Liberal Party, issued the directive on Friday morning. Given the scale and urgency of the housing crisis, it is critical that leadership at all levels of government work together, Crombie said in a statement. Last week, Mississauga City Council voted against a proposal that would have allowed fourplexes to be built as a right and instead referred the idea back to staff for further consideration. This was one of the recommendations made by Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities, Sean Fraser, in early October that would have improved Mississauga's application funding under the federal government's Housing Accelerator Fund. The motion was rejected in a 5-5 tie vote. Crombie, while on leave, was unable to cast her ballot. The decision faced immediate criticism from Fraser, who said the city should be getting rid of antiquated approaches to zoning. In response, Fraser sent council a letter on Thursday saying that without a firm commitment on fourplexes, the minister would not approve the city's application for funding. A motion proposed using strong mayor powers can only be overturned with a vote of 2/3 of council. Speaking to reporters Friday morning, Fraser said that he has spoken with Crombie and needs to review the details. We have told them, based on the information that we were aware of as recently as yesterday, that we are not in a position to approve their application, Fraser said. That the door's not closed, but we are not yet in a position to say yes. Toronto City Council voted in favor of a similar motion to allow fourplex housing citywide in May. Crombie has said she will be returning to council in November to oversee Mississauga's budget process. A number of residents in Midtown Toronto neighborhood are sounding the alarm about what they described as a brazen and terrifying trend that has seen their homes being broken into by suspects with one objective in mind: stealing key fobs so they can take their vehicles. Awaz News spoke with 3 residents in the Yonge and Lawrence neighborhood who are concerned about the increasingly brazen ways that thieves are targeting vehicles in the area. One shared a home surveillance video which captured 2 suspects throwing a brick into a window flanking the front door to gain access to a house. Once inside, the 2 allegedly took the keys to a Mercedes-Benz GLA and drove it away. The incident happened on September 12. Megan recounted that she and her husband were awoken by a loud crashing noise, which they initially thought was one of their 2 teenage children. However, when her husband went downstairs to check what happened, he saw their front door wide open and broken glass on the floor. And then we noticed that my car was gone, Megan said. Megan is just one of the several residents in the neighborhood who have had their vehicles stolen in recent months through this new scheme. Awaz News is aware of 2 more incidents that police are investigating, but the affected residents have declined to be interviewed due to safety concerns. She said police were able to ping a location for the Mercedes using an app, but only items from the vehicle, including the tracker, were recovered. Her car has not been located, nor arrests have been made in the theft.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.